Hey guys, how are you? David Franco here from davidthefranco.com with, as promised, my review of this little bad boy. The Simplicam home monitoring HD camera powered by Closely recording services. I almost said Closely. I want to correct myself from my unboxing video. It's actually pronounced Closely. So, there you go. Alright, so before I get into my review, let me give you a quick breakdown of this camera. The Simplicam weighs just 190 grams. It sports a 1/4-inch CMOS sensor. It outputs video up to 720p resolution and 30 frames per second. It features a 107-degree field of view. And best of all, this is easily my favorite feature about the Simplicam, it does support infrared night vision. Which, come on guys, who can deny night vision? I mean, I know it's nothing new and revolutionary, but night vision still to this day just fascinates me. And finally, last but not least, the Simplicam does sport an onboard mic for two-way voice. Now jumping into my review, as you guys know, I typically like to break my videos down into pros and cons. So let's get started with the pros. The first thing I want to mention is this. The Simplicam, it was incredibly easy to set up. You can set it up using an iOS device, an Android device, a Windows computer, or an OS X computer. And best of all, I never once had to connect the Simplicam to my computer. I set everything up using my iPhone 5S and the Closely app. And it was actually pretty cool. You kind of just hold down the button on the back and then you scan a QR code, it verifies it, and then boom, it's done. I just thought that was really neat, and as you guys know, I just really appreciate convenience. Next, let's talk video, because without good video, what's the point of a home monitoring HD camera? And while with that said, I am very pleased to say that the Simplicam does not disappoint. Now, while this is not exactly a 1080p camera, the 720p resolution is very nice, especially thanks to the 107-degree field of view. I mean guys, this camera captures my entire living room without any problem. And that's really nice because I can see my bedroom door, my kitchen door, my sofa, anything. Because as you'd come to expect, it is very important to capture as much information from a single room as possible, especially if, God forbid, there was an intruder in that room. Now, the next pro I want to talk about is you do get free monitoring using the Closely app. Now, I say free monitoring in terms of real time. You do have to pay for Closely recording services, which I'll talk about in a few moments. But yes, you can monitor your camera for completely free, which is very nice. And it works flawlessly on iOS, especially given the brilliant UI and UX design. UI meaning user interface and UX meaning user experience. Now, you might be saying, David, what's so special about viewing live video? Well, yes, I'll agree with you there, but Closely takes it one step beyond that and makes it incredibly intuitive by showing past events via some color markers in a timeline under that video viewer window. Alright, so let's say, for example, my Simplicam senses motion. Well, underneath that video, you can scrub your finger and go back in time to view that particular moment in time. This is just incredibly convenient rather than having to scrub through video looking for something that actually happened. But of course, it does not stop there. As I mentioned in the beginning of this review, you can view your live video on desktops and notebooks. So you don't necessarily need an iOS and or Android device to view your live video. You can go on any standard web browser such as Safari, Chrome, Firefox, and just watch your live video right there. It works very well. Now, the onboard mic on the Simplicam is nice. It's not amazing, but it is nice, and it's definitely more impressive than another brand. I mean, I don't really want to mention it here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Dropcam. Now, I love my Dropcam. I'm not dissing it. I mean, I love my Dropcam. But the Simplicam definitely had more impressive audio quality. And honestly, guys, I think that's a big deal because you want to be hearing voices, again, God forbid, if an intrusion does happen. Or maybe you're just looking to talk to your cat. I don't know. But the onboard mic was definitely more impressive than I expected. Now, this is where Simplicam becomes unique because as of this video, I don't believe any other home monitoring HD camera does this. And that's face detection per person. Now, speaking in basic terms, the Simplicam knows the difference between an object and a person, which is really cool. But it goes one step beyond that and Simplicam can actually tell you who is in the room at the time. Now with that said, unfortunately as of this recording, this face detection per person feature is not available, but in the very near future, it will actually be able to tell you who is in the room, which I think is a very convenient feature, especially for the parents out there. Let's just say you're at work and maybe it's 3 o'clock and your kids should be getting home from school. Well, let's say your son goes into the room first. The Simplicam will actually tell you it's your son and not your daughter. But then eventually your daughter does come into the room and the Simplicam says, oh, there's so-and-so. That is just a very convenient feature that can be used in many different scenarios. And finally, the last feature I want to praise is night vision. It works exactly as I expected it to. And well, enough said, night vision. Who doesn't like night vision? Now, as great as a Simplicam is, there are 2 cons that I want to mention. And I promise you, they're not major cons at all. But you know me, I'm always honest and transparent with you guys. So let's jump right into it. Now, the first con I want to talk about is this. While it is very nice and convenient that the included wall mount is there from day one, I will say it's kind of annoying that I'm forced to use it even if I want to put it on a surface. Now, it's nice that I can sit it on surfaces, like so. It works great. But this is the part that bothers me a little bit. It's kind of big, and well, as you can see, it actually sticks out from the camera rather than being underneath it. Now, obviously, it's like this because, again, it's a wall mount. There's only so much you can do with a wall mount. But I would have at least preferred the option to take this off and put a small circular base underneath the camera rather than having this accessory stick out, because now it takes up a little more room than it should, at least in my opinion. Now, is this a deal breaker? Definitely not. Just something I wanted to mention. But the second con is definitely more important, but you should come to expect this with any camera like this, and that's the fact that you do have to pay for recording services if you want to go back in time. So let's say I want to capture a week's worth of footage, and today is Sunday, and I want to watch footage back on Wednesday. That means, yes, I will have to pay for that service. But thankfully, the closely recording services do start at just $5 a month for 1 day of recording. $5 a month, that's really not that bad, especially if you compare it to things you buy every day, like coffee, a sandwich, or anything like that. I just say that because Wawa always comes to mind. Can you blame me? But honestly, guys, that's not a big deal, and a Simplicam is definitely worth recommending, which brings me into the final parts of this video, and that's my final verdict. Guys, I gotta say, overall, this is a very impressive camera. I really enjoyed my use with it so far, especially with the ease and the convenience and the well-designed iOS app. I am just really enjoying the iOS app, if you can't tell, and it just made my experience that much better. Now, the Simplicam does come in 2 prices. It starts out at $150, but if you want to get closely recorded services included and save a bit of money, then I recommend going for the $200 version of the Simplicam. That includes 1 year of 1-day recording of the closely recording services. But if you want to save even more money, they were actually nice enough to hook me up with the discount code for you guys. Just use that code right below. It's CREATONE. That code right there will save you $10 instantly on your Simplicam purchase. And well, that's it. This brings me to the end of my Simplicam review. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. And of course, shout out to Simplicam for hooking me up with this awesome product. I really appreciate it. And finally, guys, as always, if you have any questions regarding this product, please post them right below. I will do my best to answer them. As well as on Twitter and Facebook, so be sure to follow me on all my social networks. Those are linked right below in the video description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Your support is awesome, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.